Something that can sometimes be confusing for people in the office is when they're getting better, when they're seeing their symptoms improve, they notice that some things are getting better much faster than other things. And most of the time, they're all stemming from one core issue, one core problem. So when they understand that and they see that the problems are not getting better at the same rate, that can be a little bit confusing. So the analogy that I usually use for people to explain this scenario is, let's picture that you have a house, a three-story house, a basement, living room floor, and a second floor, and it gets flooded. So the first thing that's going to flood is the basement. And then as that fills up, if it fills up completely, it gets up to the first floor. Then as that floor floods, it gets up to the second floor. Now, to solve that problem, to get the water out of your house, maybe you put a pump in the basement to pump the water out. Now, as that water is coming out, the first thing to dry out is that second floor. And just because the first floor and the basement are in the exact same place that they were before that, that doesn't mean that you're not solving those problems. It just means that we have to take care of the first problem first. Now, as the water comes out of that second floor, that living room floor, um, again, we're solving the problem the same way, but now that first floor is being drained. Again, the basement looks exactly the same. The problem is still there. It's filled right up to the brim still, but it doesn't mean that we're not solving that problem. In fact, it can't get solved until those other two floors are drained. So then that first floor gets drained. And then we're still using same solution. We're pumping that water out of the basement. And then now finally that basement starts to dry out. And it's the same solution. It's just happening over a different period of time. So typically what we see is patients who have a problem, the first symptoms that showed up will typically be the last ones to leave because they've been there the longest. They're kind of like the foundational symptoms that they've had. And then it got worse and worse. And the ones that got the symptoms that they've had most recently are going to usually be the first ones to go away.